Facebook, right? The countdown. Hi, everyone. Today we are here continuing our backstage series on the Brand Groupies Podcast, and we speak with inspiring brand leaders who are building and rocking their brands, and we are really excited to welcome Alycia Yerves to the Brand Groupies Podcast today.
Thank you so much. So fun to be here.
Thank you for being a guest, Alycia. Alycia is the founder and creative director of Alycia Yerves Creative, an award-winning marketing and design agency on the Jersey Shore. In addition to brand design and web design, Alycia and her team develop custom content strategies to help tell her clients' stories via social media marketing. Formerly, she served as the multimedia manager for both the Count Basie Theater and Two River Theater in Red Bank. She has spent more than 15 years in the nonprofit arts marketing world, creating content for hundreds of artists and productions. Her company was also named one of New Jersey's best social media marketing agencies by DesignRush.com and New Jersey's best digital marketing and design consultancy by Lux Life magazine. For the last few years, Alycia has also been growing a private Facebook community called The Help Desk, where she shares marketing tips and tricks for fellow small business owners. So welcome to the Brand Groupies Podcast.
Thanks
I've been
so
wanting
much,
to have
Carey.
you for so long.
I know.
So a little inside scoop, Alycia and I worked together, I think, when I started Brand Groupies.
And when I started Alycia
And when
Yerves
you
Creative.
started Alycia Yerves, so we really have such a, history together, and
Yeah.
you really helped me build
Same.
the business at the beginning. So I have so much, great. I'm so honored to have you here, and
I
I'm
learned a lot
grateful.
from you. Continue to learn a lot from
And
you.
I continue to learn a lot from you. So we're having a love fest here.
Yeah.
So I just loved to watch you grow and to see how your business has expanded and
Thank
all the
you.
exciting things that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And I read your newsletter like start
Thank
to finish.
you.
So I have
Yay.
that is like such a shout out because I don't read any newsletters.
Aw, you rock.
But you really have your brand like down.
Thank
It
you.
is so cool. So
Thank you very much. I've been trying really hard to, it's tough to market your own business.
yes.
Even though that's what we do. It's like we're so self-critical of ourselves. We're so, we want everything to be perfect, so it's really tough. But
Yeah.
I'm doing this new thing this year where I'm just like, done is better than perfect. And
Yes.
that is really hard because I'm also like a perfectionist, Cancer and everything.
Yes.
And it's just like, I'm trying really hard to let go of more stuff this year. And I find that when I'm doing that, I actually end up getting better results and I'm happier and I'm less stressed.
Nice.
And, I'm learning from each new thing that I try or new initiative or new plan.
Yes.
And so I'm really trying to do that. And I'm trying to get my clients to do that too.
Okay.
Which
Yes.
sometimes I have
Love
to be
that.
the little, pushing them off
Pushing.
the dock into the water. But,
Yes. I love
it's,
it.
I'm trying to do that more now.
I love that. Same here. Actually, was just saying how I'm a recovering perfectionist, and so I'm really working on that.
Yep.
This year, so I agree. We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So I want to start out by saying what all about your company now and what services you provide.
Sure. So we currently work with small to medium-sized businesses and individuals on web design, brand design, and content strategy. Helping them create a custom content strategy for social media marketing, telling your story, because I always like to say with social media, it's not a soapbox, it's a dinner party. So we can't just post our stuff and expect anything to happen. We have to engage. We have to have conversation. We have to, build your following, find your audience, and find out what they love, what they respond to, and how can you position your brand as the solution to their problem. What are they going to, absorb and take out of your content, and how is it going to help them? So we do a lot of the social media side. We also do social media management, but we have really been finding that a lot of clients either they're just not ready to totally hand over the keys or to invest in that level of service. So the content strategy have kind of been a little bit of a sweet spot for us in terms of, let us help you build this foundation and then give you the map and you take it and run with it until you grow and get going and then come back to us.
I love that.
So we've been doing that a bit. And then, the website design, the brand design, I really believe, and I know you believe this too, that you are your brand. And so I love to infuse the business owner's personality and vibe into everything, and to help them understand that being different is good, being unique is good, and that, if it's kind of like, if everything is bold, nothing is bold. So if you're trying to reach everybody, you're probably reaching no one. So being able to really hone in on who you want to work with and who your ideal customer really is, to use branding and design and marketing to talk to that specific one unique person. And so that's a little bit about the services that we offer and kind of my philosophy behind things. We also do art direction. We do reputation management, helping businesses get more reviews.
Right? Which is
that's
so
a big
key.
thing.
That's huge.
Very underutilized kind of wing of marketing, in my opinion. So really, really trying to amp that up a bit.
Nice.
And email marketing. Email marketing too.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
another kind of underutilized thing that I feel like email marketing, it kind of scares people because they're like, what does that mean? I don't know how to do that,
It does. It sounds overwhelming, and it's like,
but
it's so
there's a huge
impactful.
ROI still with email, and with the amount of emails people get every single day, like, you got to be in the mix. You just got to be in the mix because the more frequently that you're at the top of their inbox, you have more, you're remembered more.
Exactly.
For when they're ready to buy something.
And you send it every, every week or
I'm
every 3 weeks.
trying to be better about it. But my goal is like every 2 weeks.
Yes, that's perfect.
But some people might say that that's still too infrequent, but I'm trying to get a routine going.
I love that.
So every 2 weeks is manageable for me. And I'm still working on structure. Sometimes my newsletters are more of a compilation of like, here's what's going on.
Sure.
Sometimes it's a singular, like, guys, I just found this out. You need to do this. You need to do this right now. Then other times it's, hey, I have this, this online webinar happening. You should come. And also, hey, here's a freebie for you. So I'm kind of like mixing it up. I really like to give out free resources and tools and downloads and stuff that help other business owners, because that's the other thing. Like, and I'm sure you've run into this too. You want to help everybody.
Yes.
And not everybody is able to make the investment.
Yes.
But it doesn't change the fact that you still want to help that person.
Exactly. I just said that on the last episode. I said, I want to help everyone. It's just who's your right, fit. So I was going to ask you too, like, are there certain clients? Is there a certain, industry or category that you really gravitate towards?
So I would say it's been a very interesting year over the last year. I don't have to tell anybody out there.
I know.
But what's happened over the last year is that we kind of have found ourselves falling into a bit of the health and wellness space, which we didn't expect. Nothing against health and wellness. It's great.
Yes.
But it wasn't what we were originally focused on. We were originally focused on arts and entertainment, food and dining, and retail. Whether it was, someone has a candle and a soap company, we're helping a restaurant or a caterer, we're helping, a theater or a dance company. That was kind of what we were doing most of in the beginning. And then through a friend of a friend, ended up making some connections in kind of the yoga and acupuncture space. And then that has continued to just keep growing with people seeing our work of this particular acupuncturist in Kenilworth, New Jersey, Kismet Acupuncture. Have to give a shout out.
Is over the top. I love it. You did
so
such
fun.
an amazing job, and I've been following her.
Thank you.
Cool.
She's a lot of fun. Her name is Katie, and she, just like me, just like you, it's about, I want to be myself. I want myself to be my brand. And I don't necessarily want to work with everybody. Yeah. I want to work with people who vibe with me.
Yes.
And she's
more
not
of a
afraid.
Partner, not a like I always say, like, are they partner? Are they going to, just work together and get for the common goal?
Exactly. And so, like, with her patients, I'm sure that there have been people who are like, I'm not going to go to Katie because she has pink hair and tattoos and, you know, she doesn't take it seriously. And she has said that too. Like, you know, she's like, I think some people are thinking that maybe I'm not serious about my work, but that's completely inaccurate. And I'm just about being myself. And I think that she has then, who cares about those people? She has attracted this huge community of followers, you know, and she could not be more serious about her work and her care. But that's her personal style. It's her brand. It's who she is. And so anyway, while working with her and some other clients, I've been reached out to by a lot of people in the acupuncture, wellness, yoga, counseling space who are like, oh my God, I love Kismet's website, or oh, I love Feltrite's website. How did you do that? And so that's really been taking off this year unexpectedly. But we'll take it. We're happy. Because even though that may not have been the space that we were leaning into, we still are all about finding our people too. And who I want to work with. And so there have been people in that space who I have turned down because I didn't click with them. I didn't vibe with, I didn't want to do that project. You know, and then I am attracted to and do want to work with the people who are risk takers and open-minded and free-spirited and, you know, are not afraid of being quirky and being different. Because I think that's the other thing too, is like feeling there's a lot of outside pressure from everyone. And you want to be seen as professional and correct and by the book and all that stuff. And it's just like, no.
I know.
There's more than one way to do that. We don't have to
be
be wearing a suit. We don't have to be sitting in a cubicle. Like, we can be authentic and have an authentic brand.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, that attracts people. I always use the example when I met my husband. I felt like I was 29 and I had gotten everything out of my system. I was my true self. Like and I think I attracted him. You know, I always say that to people. Like, once you're your authentic self, like you are who you are, and you know, you're your best version of yourself. You attract those customers because you're authentic. You know, that's you. You can't fit. You know, anyone else. So totally. And then your true passionate customers will come, and it's just the brand will be stronger. For that, and you'll have your cult like followers and groupies. And, you know.
And so like now when someone asks me, you know, what kinds of businesses do you work with? That now I start with health and wellness. And arts and entertainment, food and dining, retail. And, you know, through my connections in my past life at the theater, I still have lots and lots of connections and friendships there. So I'm always getting reached out of, you know, can I just pick your brain about this thing? Or, hey, we need someone to design this thing, which has been great. You know, which is awesome. I love being able to still stay involved in the arts.
Absolutely. And tell us, because you have such an incredible career working at the Count Basie and Two River Theater. So, like, you really initiated a lot of their communication programs.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I was at Count Basie Theater first. I started off part-time in the box office and ended up working in marketing. And the way that came about was because when I was working in the box office, I'm not sure of the actual year, but someone look it up. We would, you know, during our downtime, me and the other box office staff, we would, you know, play online games or we'd shoot rubber bands at each other or whatever in the box office. And one of my coworkers at the time was like, oh my God, there's this new thing called MySpace. Like, you have to check out this thing called MySpace. And I'm like, I'm not like really into that. I had a live journal like way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
But I'm like, I don't really, you know, I don't know what that is. I'm not interested. Well, anyway, she kept bugging me about it. Finally, one day I checked it out. I signed up. Of course, I was addicted in like 2 days.
Yes.
As everyone in the world was. Tom was my first friend, of course. And yeah, so that particular summer or whenever it was, we were all just kind of, you know, playing around on MySpace and picking our top song and all that stuff. And then one day I just started thinking like, well, the theater should have a MySpace page. Like, why doesn't the theater have a MySpace page? And I didn't work in marketing at the time. I just, you know, I was working as a box office manager or assistant manager. And I decided I'm just going to make one. Who cares?
Sure.
Didn't ask anybody. So I made it. I put on our logo.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll just start adding. There's a calendar feature. I'll just start adding the shows to the calendar.
Yeah.
So the Basie, you know, it's a huge behemoth of live performance. They do 250 something shows a year. Crazy. And you know, I was just thinking it couldn't hurt. So during my downtime, I would add the shows. So after a couple weeks, I started noticing that I would get messages from people who would ask questions about the shows. And I would answer them and still not really making the connection or thinking anything of it. And then started to think like, oh, like people are actually tuning into this particular platform and relying on this platform for information. That's kind of interesting. So then Upstairs found out, and I'm not going to name names, but at the time, leadership was kind of like, why do we need a MySpace page? What is this? We already have a website. And I had to explain, because a website, you need the website, keep the website.
Yes.
But the website, you're waiting for people to come to it. Whereas with MySpace and this thing called social media, because this was new, like, I don't even, Instagram wasn't around. I think YouTube wasn't even around yet. Maybe Twitter was. This was like, super early on. I said, with social media, it's you showing up where people are hanging out. It's like the reverse. And so they still didn't really quite get it. Well, a couple months went by and we were getting more and more inquiries. I then was able to add ticket buying links to the listings and stuff, and started to see it was picking up. And then the marketing department was like, well, why don't you just come work up here, because you like doing this stuff, you're good at it. So I started working upstairs, and I did group sales for a while, but I found my sweet spot in the multimedia side. And then they ended up kind of turning me into a one-woman show in a sense by putting me through Photoshop training, got me a tutor, and passed, a lot of responsibility off to me. And then I started then training other businesses in Red Bank and in the area on social media.
Incredible.
And on behalf of the theater. So did some workshops, did some, webinars and things like that, teaching people like, here's how to sign up for Twitter and, that kind of thing.
Totally.
And
That's
then,
so cool.
I eventually learned design and video editing and website editing and email marketing and all that stuff. And I loved my time at the Basie. Saw so many incredible acts, got
what a
to
cool job.
just
That's
sit,
so neat.
like, sometimes I say, like, I do miss being able to just open the second floor door with my key, go sit on the floor of the loge and eat my lunch in the empty theater, just like looking around.
Yeah.
So many amazing acts. And Air Supply one time came to the box office window and was like, did a FedEx package arrive because someone's missing leather pants?
Come on.
And we're like, no, sorry, it didn't come yet. And all kinds of just fun stories behind the scenes.
That's
so anyway,
cool.
But my background growing up, like I was in, choirs and community theater and stuff. Love Broadway, huge Broadway nerd. And so a couple years after I was at the Basie for a while, Two River right down the street, more of a actual theater-based theater. They put up a job listing that was basically my job listing. And I was like, kind of interested, just because, let me change it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And
You've been there for a while.
Yeah, and I reached out, and the person who was there at the time was like, so basically we were hoping that you would see this job listing because we want you to take this job. And I'm like, wait, what? And so I still interviewed and all of that stuff. But I ended up moving over there. And it was the same role. It was multimedia manager. Amazing. But at Two River, they were a little bit further behind in terms of established presence on different platforms and really using social media and digital marketing the way that they should be. So, I got all of that set up and running. Had a great team there that I work with. And that's kind of how it all came to be. And then on the side, I was helping people with this kind of thing.
Got it.
And then eventually ended up going out on my own because I couldn't. I couldn't keep doing both jobs.
Sure.
I was fortunately getting busier doing the side business. Yep. And then I decided, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
And that was 4 years ago.
That's amazing. I can't believe it. I remember those days, right?
Yeah.
We were working together.
Scared to death.
So, and no, that's amazing. And all of your experience at the, those amazing companies and then taking that and applying it to, startups and just
learned
really
so much.
Taking them to the next level.
Definitely,
No, I think that's amazing. And, starting your own, agency, did you, like how did you scale? Like how did you get your name out there when you first started marketing yourself?
Well, the good thing was that I knew certain things that I should do. Or, you know, I knew kind of like, well, if I was a concert, if I was a play, you know, what are the pieces? What are the things that have to happen? So I knew I needed a webpage.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that I needed a branding or a logo of some kind. I knew, most importantly, I needed to start building my audience and putting my messaging out there and being consistent. And I think the consistency is a piece that so many businesses struggle with. And again, like, done is better than perfect. So in the beginning, you know, I was really trying to make sure that everything was by the book and everything was so professional and everything. And then, you know, it's just like I loosened that a bit and just kind of focused on, you know, if I completed a design project, I would post it. I would tag the people. You know, if I was hired by a new client and, you know, we were promoting their concert or their show, like I would post about it and post the links and, you know, behind the scenes shots and all that kind of stuff that I just knew how to do from my work in the 2 theaters. And then over time, I just kind of got into a cadence with it. And it definitely does not happen overnight. Like at all.
It's a marathon.
And it's so funny too. Like, I don't know if anyone out there has ever done this, but I'll scroll backward through my phone looking at my camera roll. And you can see what life events were happening simultaneously by looking at, well, this picture was this day and this picture was the next day and this picture was the next day. Oh my God, like so many crazy things happened that week. Whoa, you know? Because I think we like compartmentalize when we're like in it. But when you're actually reflecting back. And so sometimes now I do that when I look back at the beginning. And I'm just like, I can't believe all of that happened in like a month or, you know, 2 months or whatever.
Totally.
But yeah, I knew that for me, there was a piece of like, I have to prove it to people because a lot of people didn't understand me leaving. And, you know, even though I had a lot of support and, you know, people like, you're going to do great. This is what you're meant to do. I never thought I was meant to run a business. I had no interest in that. I had no clue how to do any of that. All I knew was that I like to help people with social media. I like to design their stuff. Like, that's fine. Like, if they want to pay me, whatever. But everyone, including my brothers, were telling me, like, just start your own business. And I'm like, oh, okay, so just. What is this word just?
It's
like,
just.
You know. I have no clue how to do any of that. And so, yeah, I subscribe to a lot of email newsletters about tips and stuff. I follow lots of bloggers, lots of online educators to kind of just explain to me, this is a great tool that you need, or this is a process you need to start. And just starting to kind of send myself through school in a sense, you know, from people who have done it before me.
And how your business model would work out and evolve and stuff like that. So
including brand groupies, you know, just seeing, okay, so there's a website and we have this process and here's how we work with our clients. Here's how we talk about our clients. You know, here's how meetings happen, like all that kind of stuff that, you know, as a green, you know, newbie, not new to the work, but new to owning a business.
Absolutely.
You know, just figuring out from others was super helpful.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. And also I think figuring out how to scale, like, and you know, whether you're doing one-off projects or of course the retainer fee is the ideal client, and realizing, wow, in order to maintain a staff, you need like a long-term, you know, contract. But then you're able to take on, you know, one-offs and kind of see, or if one client is doing, you know, X, Y, and Z. And helps too. And
something else that happened over the last 2 years with helping with scaling. Mind you, we're still small.
Oh, you know, I know, me too. Small. Me too. That's what I'm like.
But over the last 2 years, been outsourcing more.
Yes, I want to hear about that because you were mentioning that to me, and I was like, "Wait, do I need a virtual assistant?"
Oh my God, yes, you do. Everyone does.
I love that.
So it started again, like as a business owner, I feel it's really important that everybody finds their people. Find your group of people, whether that's an in-person, let's go out for coffee, or whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's, an online conference and you guys all talk to each other, or it's a listserv, something.
Okay.
There needs to be some sort of support group for yourself. And I'm telling you, every industry has a group like this. The bakers of America, or the salon owner Facebook group, whatever.
Yes.
There's all different kinds of groups, and just being able to observe and see everyone is going through the same crap.
Yes.
Everyone has dealt with your particular super specific situation. Yeah. And so that's, first of all, just helpful to know that you're not alone. Secondly, helpful to get advice and see what the outcome was without you having to actually go through it yourself. And of also then, if you are, brave enough to contribute to the conversation, to be able to ask questions. And I have this client problem, or I have this problem with my taxes, or I have this problem with this piece of equipment. Freaking someone help me.
Yep.
And so I super encourage everyone to do that. And so I'm in a couple of those groups, whether it's for owning a business, or if it's for designers, or it's for copywriters, or, social media experts, what have you. So I'm always checking those groups. So in those groups over the last 2-3 years, there's been more and more conversation about virtual assistants.
Okay.
And in the beginning, I didn't really know what it was. And quite frankly, for the first couple years, I was super not willing to invest in basically anything because I was so protective of every dollar.
Yes.
And, just knowing we're working so hard. I don't want that new piece of equipment. I don't want to, whatever. But what I started realizing is that I'm only one person. We can only do so much. I want to help so many people, and I don't want to keep trading my time for money. And
make money while you sleep.
Yes. So in the end, I started realizing, I want to raise my rates as well. And so if I could hire someone to help me with some of the repetitive client work, or some of the repetitive office work, where I'm still the supervisor, I'm still giving the direction, but just to have some stuff cleared off my plate. And so about 1.5 years ago, I made the investment. And I have an awesome virtual assistant. Her name is Caitlin. She lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
Shout
out to Caitlin.
Shout out to Caitlin. And she is a rock star. She is so, that's the other thing. If you're going to outsource, whether it's a subcontractor for a job, or a virtual assistant, or an employee, you got to find someone who you click with.
Yes, for
and
sure.
someone might be great on paper, but then you interview them and it's what?
Yes. And if you can train them to match your style, but if you click with them, that's good.
And so I had, when I put out the call for this, I had gone through lots of resumes and lots of, most virtual assistants have a web page set up and information, maybe showing off some of their jobs and stuff. And a lot of people sounded great until I talked to them, and it was just but Caitlin was awesome, and she comes from, her background is as an admin assistant and personal assistant for C-suite or C-level executives. And so she was just so on it, but also really fun and quirky and friendly and down to earth. Yeah, so she and I started working together. And it started small. I would just, we have our system online where we use an app called Trello. Okay. Trello is great for building lists and project management and stuff. And so basically I load tasks in there. I assign her. I give due dates. We talk. We text. We email. And then she's just giving me updates. Okay, this is done. Hey, I need you to review this, blah, blah, blah. And so being able to pass off a lot of stuff to her was a huge way for me to clear my focus to then work on more projects and raise my rates and all of that kind of thing. And then the other piece of outsourcing is subcontracting. So sometimes I'm so busy that I can't work on that web design project physically myself. So I serve as the creative director, art director of the project, and then I work with someone to actually implement the thing.
Got it.
And that arrangement we've done on a bunch of projects, whether it's branding or website design. Nice. And same thing there. I have to make sure that, yes, is their work awesome? Totally. Great. but I need to make sure that I like them.
Yes.
And I want to enjoy
dependable.
paying them and
Yes.
spending money with them.
Of course. Of course.
So those were some of the biggest ways we were able to start making more money and growing a bit.
Yeah. That's
and I'd
such
like to keep
great
doing that.
advice too for anyone
Oh,
who's
good.
out there, listening. I think it's just so hard to figure out, who do I hire? Is it like a freelancer, or how many? What skill sets do they need? And really looking at where you are your best. Like, what is your best magic gift?
Yeah,
and so you can spend more time, doing that. Because I was also going to ask you like where you find your creativity and inspiration on a day-to-day basis, but if you're in those little tasks every day doing that, it's really challenging. So
exactly.
if you can kind of make space for that, I think that's huge.
Exactly. And yeah, with the virtual assistants, if anyone is looking into that, there's sites that can help you out, whether it's Upwork or
Upwork.
different
Upwork is
sites.
great. I have checked them out. Yep.
But it's important to know that some virtual assistants do a little bit of everything. Some are super specialized. Maybe they just work on web admin and bookkeeping. Sure. So you can ask those questions. You can be blunt with your budget, and you can say, I only need 5 hours a week, or I need 40 hours a month, or whatever it's going to be. But I think it's a really, really awesome thing to look into. As far as my magic dust.
Yes, your magic dust, your superpower. What's your superpower? That's my next question.
I was thinking about this in advance a little bit. And it's hard to say that about yourself, I feel like. But one thing I will say that my clients constantly tell me, and that people constantly tell me, is like, you just get it. You can verbalize what I got up here, and you can bring things to life. You can make something tangible. You can understand who I am in here and make it a thing,
yes.
Make it a website, make it a brand, make
Sure.
it a product.
Yes.
And again, I think it goes back to you are your brand. I love to tell people stories. I love to tell brand stories through the person, through the who they are inside, and of encouraging my clients to come out of their shell a little bit, and to tell them like, it doesn't mean that it has to be the you show.
Yes.
It's just to show like the why behind the business.
Absolutely.
And who's doing the thing, and how do you make those how do you make those connections? And so
absolutely.
I think that storytelling piece and that personality injection piece is something that I feel we're strong at. And like I was just thinking about this morning, a lot of our online reviews about our business mention that element.
Oh, I love
mention the she just gets me, or she just my website feels so much more like me. And the argument to that too is that sometimes when you're choosing branding, or you want a website designed, whatever, yes, you should always consider who your audience is, because maybe you love hot pink but your audience won't love hot pink. But I still think it's the reverse of that, because you're trying to find your people.
Absolutely.
So you can do whatever you want. And
exactly.
maybe people don't agree with me, but that's what I think.
You'll find your people. No, I think that's incredible. So I was going to say, like, what do you do every day to build, to build your brand? Like, I know you have your help desk. Or tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah. So I, again, trying to grow, trying to scale, trying to help more people. I really am trying to grow the education side of my business. Okay. So yes, we work with clients. We can design stuff for you. We can help market your business. We can, give you strategy and all that stuff. But for the people who are not able to invest at that level, or who maybe are just starting out and just want information, like I was 4 years ago, I like to give free resources. I like to share, tips and tricks and online courses and all kinds of things like that. And so I was thinking, well, I should probably curate a little private space, kind of a safe space for people to ask questions. So a couple years ago, I started this Facebook group. It's called The Help Desk. And we're about maybe almost 400 members now.
Amazing.
Some people are more active than others.
Sure.
But I know that back in the day, I was a lurker too.
Okay, yes.
So, and I could see how many people view every post. Yeah, so I know they're reading.
Yes.
And so I just use it kind of to brain dump. Like, hey, I learned this tip. Hey, reminder, change the copyright on your website. It's January now.
Yes.
Make sure that you are regularly using stories and not just posting, because some people only hang out in stories.
Yes.
So you don't want to miss them.
Totally.
All these kind of little tips.
I love that.
And so that was kind of the first piece. The second piece is I've started to design and share free resources as digital downloads. So
that's a great tip, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
AlyciaYerves.com/freebies.
Yep.
There's a bunch of different resources there for business owners, which I keep adding to. Things like social media checklists, guides to, how to nail your first logo, web design tips, all kinds of things like that. So that's the second piece. The third piece that is coming is we're building our first paid digital product, which is going to be all focused on the whole world of online reviews and reputation management.
Amazing.
Getting people to understand, how important that is and how you can use it really as a tool. And then the piece after that will be, I eventually want to sell and create and sell online courses. So for people who, again, are not able or ready to make that investment, I can say, but I can still help you and you can do it at your own pace. Go here and take this course.
I love that.
So that's kind of the long-term thing that I'm working towards.
Okay.
But we're trying to balance client work with that too, and
definitely.
marketing ourselves and putting ourselves out there.
That's great.
So the Facebook side, or the Facebook group, I definitely use for that. But again, I send out the email newsletters. I'm always on social media. I like to participate with. If I can get quoted in an article, like I use Help a Reporter Out.
Yep.
So I try to get some press that way.
Great.
This podcast will be great to share.
I know. Great content.
And just trying to participate online, like what I was saying before about engagement. Like I spend a lot of time every day trying to comment and interact with different thought leaders or brands or organizations in the area. To join the conversation and get people to get to know me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been really helpful because sometimes I'll get a DM from somebody or whatever. And I'm big lately on video DMing because I feel like if there's someone that I want to maybe work together with on a project, or I have a question, or maybe I want to answer someone's question that they asked me, I find that sending a video DM, it makes you stand out, and it's just
great
fun and shows your personality.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. I know I got an audio DM, and I was like, oh, I listened to the whole message.
Yeah, audio DM too. Love it. Like
it
Clubhouse.
Was great. Yeah, it definitely, sets you apart. But I think as, a new business owner or whatever stage you're in, I think it's just figuring out, what steps to take, and there's so many people out there. It's like, marketing, digital, this PR, social, it's so overwhelming. So really, how do you invest properly, and what should you spend your time on and your energy? And you are such an amazing person and resource for that, I think. Thank because you really get people. Like you Thanks, really, when you worked with me, we worked together, like you got it from day one. And I just trusted you. I'm like, just go. Like you are amazing. And so I just love that you're such an asset to, your clients and brands out there.
Thank you. And that's
creative is so cool too. Your branding,
Thank you very much.
Is great.
Thank you. I what you just said about just go.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say you got to find those people.
Totally.
Find your team. Find those people you can rely on that you just don't even have to worry about it. And you just have so much trust and you click and it's just like, here you go. I know you're going to kill it. It's great.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's just so, so important. It really, really is. Because I don't want it. The whole reason I want stuff off my plate and you want stuff off your plate is so you don't have that anxiety and the nerves about the project.
Yes,
and so just not having to worry is so important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I was going to say, you've worked on a number of different projects. Is there one achievement or one that you're most proud of?
Well, it has been really great to watch how Kismet Acupuncture has
Okay,
been
yep.
taking off just because she is really establishing herself. Like, she was in business long before she met me. And she had her logo, but we have kind of morphed it into a full-fledged brand, and she is so just bold and strong and brave with everything that she does. And she's getting notoriety in the acupuncture industry from not just the style of her branding and of her web presence, but just of who she is and how she runs her business. She, stepped into a newer, larger facility. She's constantly growing. So that's been exciting to watch behind the scenes.
Yes.
But on a more tangible kind of thing, we were able to work on some really awesome album design projects.
Oh, fun.
Including, we did the art direction for the Broadway album of Be More Chill.
Amazing.
The musical. And so that was so exciting because Be More Chill was a musical written by Joe Iconis. It got its start at Two River Theater during the time when I was there. And being able to, at the time as an employee, work on the marketing of the show, and then to go out on my own, and then to still be able to work on the show in its second life was so fun. And I'm friends with, all of those guys and working on some other projects, after the fact. But being able to see a physical album and hold it in your hands after it only existed here, was huge. And that was
so cool.
So much fun. So I love being able to, I have it on my desk behind me. So it's like so cool. Fun little thing to look at.
I love it. So now that you've had your business, how many years? Four?
Just about 4. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So what would you say, are the best things about having your own business or pros and cons?
Yeah. So, the best is, first of all, it's kind of cliche, but that you are the boss. Yeah. But on the other hand, that could also be the worst. Because everything falls on you, Yes. But at the end of the day, it is great to just say, you know what? I just can't today. We need to go get ice cream. Yeah. And no one cares because that's
cares.
it.
Yeah. Totally.
And so I do think that is most important. And like I was saying in the beginning, I never had an interest in having a business. I never thought I would have a business. And in the beginning, it was very, very hard. And I wasn't prepared for how hard it was going to be. And fortunately, I have great friends. I have great family. My business partner, Joe, he eventually joined me as well. He was with full-time with retail and project management career, coming from Apple most recently. And, he just was, he wasn't in love with what he did anymore. Sure. And, we kind of both took the leap sort of simultaneously. Okay. And so having him as my partner has been huge too, because it's just been, when I was saying before, there is no one else, meaning there's no one else who's going to tell me no. Yes, exactly. But he's, great to bounce ideas off of, and he helps manage me because I get woo sometimes. Yes. But it's great to have somebody to partner with and to just, talk through things. Sure. Do we want to do this project? Hey, this exciting thing is happening. Yay, let's go get a drink. Yes. Kind of a deal. Fun part. So I definitely think being your own boss is killer. It is tough, having to make difficult decisions. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's not a podcast unless the phone rings.
Let me actually turn that off. But being able to kind of plan for the unplanned, and to kind of make time for those moments that you don't know are going to happen. Sure. That's a good thing and a bad thing, because I kind of live on this feeling of nervousness all the time, which I'm working on also this year. But of just knowing that, look, something's going to happen and we're just going to deal with it. Yeah. And it's going to be okay because it literally has been okay every other time.
Yep. And you put such great positive energy and karma into the world. It's just going to, it's just going to work out.
Mm-hmm. And of telling, of what you were just saying about, putting that energy out there, I do try to share with people in my Facebook group or just, following me on social media or in some of the other groups that I'm in, of telling people they're not alone and of saying, look, I went through that same thing you're explaining, and in the end, it ended up really not being that big of a deal. Yeah. Made myself sick about it, but it was no big deal. So I think having that community of people, that's another one of the really good things of having your own business.
Totally.
Of being able to find those other entrepreneurs that you can learn from.
Absolutely.
And how they have dealt with stuff has been really helpful.
Yeah, no, I love that because I think the challenge is really finding what's next. Always want to be on the cutting edge and continued education and where to go, and it's just really, I find it overwhelming with just targeted with so many ads on social. So I just love that you have this community and you can share those types of things, because it's always like, where do I find out if I need to be in the know, because no one, we're saying no one is an expert in anything. It's like you're constantly learning, and changes so much.
Oh my God.
So
constantly,
especially social media.
Especially I forgot to mention before, I also run Facebook ads for clients, but I have been really not doing that as much lately because of how much stuff has been changing. I'm like, hold on, I need a minute to learn this
and
now.
Just when you think you have it down, right?
I need a minute to learn all these changes, and now there's restrictions with iPhone versus Facebook, and it's like, I don't want to spend your money yet until I feel more confident in knowing this.
Yes.
And I'm going to use my own business as a guinea pig first.
Yes.
To let me test it out. Let me test this out. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So as you're growing, where do you see yourself in a few years from now? I know that's a typical question, but
it is difficult.
Do you want to add, more people?
I definitely could see continuing to add on to our remote team of designers, of virtual assistants. I think that will be necessary. But I really would love for the education side to become bigger, and kind of have that be the anchor of the business. Because I feel like I can reach so many more people with that. I can help so many more people with that. And then I think that opens doors for additional brands, maybe publications, maybe events, all that kind of thing.
Sure.
So I definitely see, so I see that becoming a thing, kind of like an online classroom that just is permanently up.
Yes.
That I can keep adding to, and, have people participate in, and maybe they go through an actual semester or go through an actual curriculum kind of a thing.
I love that.
And they'll be paying for those things. So
Yes.
There's that recurring income we talked about.
Exactly. So that kind of, makes you have to continue to build your personal brand and, position yourself as an expert. And
because people I constantly still to this day have, whether it's contacts from back in the day or past clients or friends of past clients or whatever, who will email me or text me or DM me and just like, hey, I have this question. Could I just pick your brain for a minute? And most of the time I say yes, because I trade them for an online review. And I say, I don't tell them what to say, but I just say, I'm willing to give you, a half hour, 45 minutes of my time, if you would be willing to share about your experience, because I'm trying to grow my reviews that are specifically about consulting and education.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of been the trade-off recently.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And it's that way I get something out of it, they get something out of it. Because in the beginning I was saying yes to everybody, and I'd be going out to lunch for 4 hours and going all over the place.
I know.
Because you're always thinking, oh, maybe this could turn into something. It usually doesn't.
I know.
But I still want to help, and they still need the help. So having that trade-off has been great.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you can direct them to the help desk. We have so many outlets to help out, which is so cool. Yeah. So if someone wanted to start out in this business, or they're starting a new company, what advice would you give? I guess I have so many questions for you on that. As far as what they should invest in first, and where they should put their energy. Say they're starting a brand from scratch. They're like, I want branding, and they don't really know that's not just a logo. What, if someone's just starting out, and I hate to see them spend so much money on, I don't know if they do this stuff, but like a print ad or something where it's not hitting your audience. It's not hitting your target, and figuring that out. So what steps would you do?
Sure. So I get that question a lot. And I'm glad you said the print ad thing.
just spent $5,000 on a printout. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is that 1%?
my gosh,
like,
I
who are you
know.
reaching?
I know. And it's like, I'm not totally against it, but it can't be the only thing.
It has to be, yes,
it can't be the only thing.
Yeah.
Strategic. Okay, anyway, tangent. We'll go out for drinks about that topic.
I know.
No, so I would say, and I know it's tough because I was the same way. When I started out, I was like, I have to have a logo. I have to have all these things, and then I'll be official, and then I can actually tell people stuff. But what I've learned in the years since is key, first and foremost, you can never get started soon enough on building your email list. Even if you're not going to send an email.
Say that one more time.
You cannot get started soon enough with building your email list.
Yes.
So seriously, even if you are not ready to send newsletters, you don't know what you're going to write about, you don't have any of those answers, that's fine. But you got to start now with a simple sign-up form. Even if that means it's a clipboard at your next farmer's market table event, have a way for people to get on your email list. Because you're going to be so grateful in 2 years or 3 years when you actually start, instead of trying to start then.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because email marketing, even though, yes, people get tons of emails every day, it still is one of the best ways to sell. The ROI can be really awesome, and it's another way for people to engage with you when they have time. Sometimes, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I flag emails and I'm like, okay, I need to read this later in bed. Or
let's say a podcast just launched and you're like, I keep my emails organized. Like, that's how I go back to things and flag them.
Yeah, folders and all that stuff. And so by regularly getting into people's inboxes, you're staying front of mind. And you are ensuring that, when they're finally ready to buy tickets to that thing, or to book that dentist appointment, or to get those hair highlights,
Yes.
you've been front of mind.
Sure.
And they're going to think of you. Also, it's great for exclusivity. If you were going to start email marketing, you can send those coupons and those offers. You can show behind the scenes stuff. You can grow your social media following by reminding people, because some people think, oh, well, I don't really need social media because I have email, or vice versa. And what I would say is, you can't assume that everyone is on all your channels, because they're not. They're not.
No.
There definitely is some crossover for sure, but you have to be able to try to get them to join you in these other places. And so use your email to push your social, use your social to get them to sign up for email, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So definitely that.
Okay.
Secondly, as kind of part of that, even if you're not ready to invest in a whole custom website, I actually just posted about this on social yesterday. There are a bunch of different solutions where you can build a web page for free online. A simple web page with your contact info, with, pictures, with a button. Sites like MailChimp will let you do a free landing page, Wix, Google Sites, and it's better than nothing.
Sure.
And that way there's no excuse.
Sure.
You can even do it with Canva, where you can design a nice, pretty website, and it gives you a live link at the end. And then you can put that link in your Instagram bio. You can text that link to friends. You can, email it out. And so if you've got nothing in the beginning, at least have some sort of web address where people can look at stuff.
Sure.
Where they can get more info.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that you're going to have e-commerce set up. It doesn't mean that, you're going to be selling, right off of the site. But if I'm looking up someone and they only have an Instagram page and I can't find anything else anywhere, it's kind of like rubs me the wrong way.
Sure. Yeah.
And also, please, please, please do one of those two things I just mentioned, either the email list or the web page, or both, because you can't put all your eggs in social media's basket, because you don't own your followers.
Yes.
And it
I
can
see
go
you post
away.
about that, like when Instagram was down and Twitter was down. You're like, see?
Yeah. It could go away at any time.
Could, just go poof.
Yeah. And how devastating would that be?
I know.
And that has happened.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get locked out of your account and they make it so hard for you to get back in.
The local business that just got locked out, and they were writing about it. And
it was Broad Street Doco, the donut place.
Yep.
They got back in eventually, but it was like crazy. They had like 150,000 followers. They couldn't get into anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, don't rely on social media. Use it as a tool, but it can't be the only thing.
Sure.
It seems easy, and it is, to get established there, but make sure you have a backup.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. So our next, of course, question on the Brand Groupies podcast is, what music do you listen to? And I know you're a music gal. So
I am.
First off, like, what's your best music in the office?
So pretty much 90% of the time is 80s.
Okay.
I'm an 80s kid. I love 80s. I've been growing an 80s playlist, which you can grab at my Instagram bio.
To write it. Okay, in your bio, I am going to that.
It's like crazy. It's like, I don't even know, like 600 hours or something.
Amazing.
44 hours, I forget, but it's crazy. I love 80s. It's like something like, when you hear a song and you're just like, oh my God, like I'm like remembering stuff.
Happiness.
Yeah. So 80s, I just love. Also, like 90s alternative, 90s pop, sometimes like 70s classic rock, sometimes lots and lots of show tunes.
Yes.
I super love Broadway, so I'm like rocking out to nerdy theater music, and I have no shame.
Yeah.
So I love any mix of those. But we also listen to tons of podcasts.
Yeah, that's true.
I love, like I was mentioning, a bunch of the online educators who I follow. So I'm, if I'm making coffee in the morning before I like actually start my work, I'm like listening to an episode about one of these topics or, some new feature or something. And also Conan O'Brien's podcast is just the best.
Is it?
Oh my God.
Listen
Oh my God.
All right.
It is the best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
we need to do like a, an agenda or a separate worksheet of all your suggestions.
Yeah, I would love to. Maybe that'll be my next freebie.
So awesome. I know, right? And also, if Alycia Yerves Creative was a song, what would it be?
Okay, so I really studied hard for this question.
Okay. I know it's not easy.
So originally, I was going to say Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder.
Oh, good one.
Because, like, yeah, I love that song. And I think it applies to lots of the crap that we deal with in business. You know, like, you're not going to show me, I'm just going to keep going.
Keep going.
But the rest of the song is about, like, weird stuff. So that doesn't apply.
Okay.
Then I was going to say Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yes. Oh, that
because that's like, that sums me up. And, most of my clients, not all, but most of them are women.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure that I'm having fun. They're always having fun in anything that we do. But then I canceled both of those answers. And the real answer is What a Feeling by Irene Cara from Flashdance, because of the line, take your passion and make it happen.
Oh, love it.
And
I did a dance to that song.
Did you?
Years ago in my garage.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a moment like probably 3.5 years ago. It was shortly after I started.
Okay.
Where I was just driving home from an appointment after I had my business for a bit. And that song came on. And like, I've loved that song forever. 80s, Flashdance, hello, love it. But the song came on and like, I got teary in the car because I'm like, if you really listen to the lyrics, it really could be about taking a chance, like, and starting your business or starting, how they say, like, don't quit your daydream, So that's the song.
I love it. Well, that's
Leg warmers
a really good
and all.
one. Oh, I love it. I'm going to go watch that video.
It's so good.
Right?
It's so good.
That's a great one. So let's tell everyone where they can find you again.
Sure.
Online.
So AlyciaYerves.com is my site, and there's info there on me and my clients and what we do and how we can work together. I also have all the links there to my social media. My email sign-up form is there. My help desk group link is there. And then there's that AlyciaYerves.com/freebies page where I have a bunch of downloads that you can grab there as well. And then on Instagram, it's at Alycia Yerves Creative. Facebook is the same, and find me.
Well, if you are in need of branding and social and everything, Alycia is incredible. So we, firsthand working together, and I would send anyone your way.
Thank you so much,
seriously, you're awesome. You do it all. So thank you again for being a guest.
Thank you.
So
this
fun
was
to
so
catch
fun.
up. So fun.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thanks.